And if you're new here, this is kind of what I do. Alright, so I was tagged by Tammy at the Protagonist Pub to do this challenge to spell my name in book titles. I had a lot of fun looking through my books, trying to figure out which books I want to talk about. Some of them I've definitely never talked about on this channel before, so that's exciting. I've read most of them. I had to go for a couple that I have not read yet to get the right letters to fit. I tried to go with books I physically own, not just the digital books that I have read, which for the most part, if I really enjoyed a digital book, I will purchase the book so I can have it on my shelves. If it was a mediocre book or something I would never pick up again, I'm not going to go purchase the book. But all right, so here's a list. I actually did one list of fiction and one list of nonfiction, so we're going to go through this together. So here on the internet, I got by Jess. My full name is Jessica, so we're going to make this a little more interesting and add some letters to it. Most of my friends call me Jess, but my family growing up always called me Jessica. Distant family, like grandmas and cousins stuff, call me Jessie. So I answer to all of them, but today we're going to go with Jessica. So, all right, we're going to start with fiction and then nonfiction of the same letter. Let's see how this goes. First one, I'm starting off with one I haven't read yet, but it's in this beautiful edition. Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Yeah, just take a minute. I love these covers of the Cranford collection. Man, oh my goodness. They steal my heart. And I have a whole collection of them up here. I'm starting to get together that, they're my favorite. Anyways, I have not read it. I can't tell you about it yet, but J. All right, J for nonfiction is one I just talked about in my wrap up of like 40 books from February till the beginning of June. And that is Jesus and the Jewish Roots of the Eucharist. This book was so good. It felt very accessible. It did not feel over my head with a lot of theological books. Sometimes they're a little too dense for me, and this one definitely was not. It was accessible. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. Would highly recommend. It goes through the history of Passover and how that impacted the Last Supper with Jesus, and I don't know, it was so good. That second to last chapter just got me. It was so good. Worth the whole book there. But yes, definitely recommend this one. So I forgot to say this before I started. The fiction books, I wouldn't say they're necessarily representative of everything I like to read, but the nonfiction books, they are just me to a T. All of the different facets of my personality and what I enjoy doing is represented in some way in these books, and I think it's perfect. But as far as fiction, maybe not so much, because the next one is E. Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. I really enjoyed this book. I think I read it last fall, somewhere around there. So good. It was fast. It was fast paced. I think I said when I read it, it was like I didn't know what was going on half the time, but I enjoyed the journey, and it was a lot of fun. There was a little bit of like crude language every now and then, but nothing too drastic. There's definitely death going on in this book. It's a mystery. I couldn't figure it out, but I really enjoyed the journey. So the next book I also talked about in my wrap up of like 40 some books, and that is Everybody Needs to Forgive Somebody by Alan R. Hunt. I enjoyed it. It wasn't a bad book. I wanted more from it. So there's that. So the next fiction book, we are on to the letter S, and that is Skipping Christmas by John Grisham. I read this one in high school. I attempted to reread it last year, but I didn't quite get to it in time for Christmas. So on my list for next year, I found this cute copy. I had a mass market paperback version of it, but I found this at a thrift store for like $1.50, and I said, I want that copy on my shelves instead. So definitely recommend this one. It's a cute Christmas read. Oh, here it is. I'm already mixing them up already. The next book is definitely one that describes me and my hobbies and what I enjoy doing, and that is See You at the Campground by Stephanie and Jeremy. Their last name, I don't know. Stephanie and Jeremy P. This book was a lot of fun to read through. I have many more in their series now. If you have ever been interested in camping, whether it is tent camping, RV camping, however you want to do it, cabin camping too. Lots of information, lots of knowledge, lots of encouragement if it's something that's maybe outside of the box for you. Definitely recommend it. They also have a podcast that I infrequently listen to, but I do recommend this one. It's chock full of information, packing guides, all the things. I love this, and I love how they talk about all of the experiences that their kids have had and the impact that's made on them throughout their life. Their kids are now like high school age at this point, but they started camping with them when they were very, very little, which was so sweet to see. All right, we have another S now. This one is from childhood, a favorite of mine, Sarah Plain and Tall by Patricia McLaughlin. It's super short. I probably picked it up as a kid because it was tiny and I could read it in a short time and do like a book report or whatever on it. So in this one, it's during the Dust Bowl. Their mother died the day after Caleb was born. Their house on the prairie is quiet and Papa doesn't sing anymore. Then Papa puts an ad in the paper asking for a wife, and he received a letter from Sarah Elizabeth Wheaton of Maine. Papa, Anna, and Caleb write back. Caleb asks if she sings. Sarah decides to come for a month. She writes Papa, I will come by train. I will wear a yellow bonnet. I am plain and tall, and tell them I sing. Anna and Caleb wait and wonder. Will Sarah be nice? Will she like them? Will she stay? It is a nostalgic book for me. There are several in this series. Absolutely one of my favorites from a kid. Definitely a book that describes me. And the next one. The Seasons on Henry's Farm. A Year of Food and Life on a Sustainable Farm by Tara Brockman. I have not read this one yet. It was recommended on, I don't know, it was a gardening book that somebody recommended at one point. I think I saw it on Instagram. And I don't know, I'm here for it. Henry's Farm, run by Henry Brockman, is in central Illinois. I've been there. Some of the richest farming land in the world. He and his family, which have lived and farmed here for 5 generations, have bucked the traditional agribusiness conventional wisdom. Instead, they run a farm that's sensible, sustainable, and focused on producing healthy, delicious, nutritious food in ways that don't spoil the land. Tara Brockman tells the story of her family and their life on the farm in the form of a year-long memoir with recipes that take readers through each of the 52 seasons. Studded with vignettes, digressions, photographs, and family stories, the book is a one-of-a-kind treasure that will appeal to readers of Michael Pollan, E.B. White, Gretchen, and others. It just seems so sweet. I need to get to this one this year. I should put this, if I don't get to it this year, this needs to go on my list for 2026, for sure. All right, we are on to I, and I picked a favorite of mine, Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus by Dusty Bowling. This book, please go read it if you haven't picked it up yet. This one, we have a girl who is born without arms, and we're following her through the middle school years and all of the different, middle school is tough enough as it is, and then we have on top of it the added factor of not having arms. So as a former middle school teacher, man, middle school can be tough. It can be a tough time for kids, especially if they're moving into a new place, especially if there's something different about them. And so we follow, what was her name? Avon. We follow Avon as she has to move to a new school, find her place, and I don't know, it's so good. It's such a sweet story. I've also read the second one in this series and would recommend it as well. All right, the next book is a nonfiction book. I read this book in college. So I was a teacher, but my degree is actually in biology. So this was in I think immunology. Yeah. Immunology, we did a book study, and as we were learning about different parts of the immune system, we were discussing the ethics of some of the things. And that was The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. So in this book, we have, Rebecca Skloot. She is researching Henrietta Lacks, who had cancer. She did not survive that cancer, but her cells did. In very general, broad terms, cancer are your own cells that are replicating, and they don't stop, which then causes all kinds of issues. That's my bare minimum, very unknowledgeable knowledge about cancer cells. So with HeLa cells, they are her cells that are still reproducing and can be purchased in order to study and research and find other treatments for cancer and all other things. It's been a long time since I've read the book. But the biggest question in the book is it ethical that this lady's cells have been used to make all kinds of money and in all kinds of research, yet her family still lives in poverty? So it explores her family today, or when this was put out. I don't remember. I read it in college, so I don't want to admit it, but it's been a minute. Let's see. It was published, it looks like, in 2006 or 2009. Somewhere in there. Copyright 2010. I don't know. It's been a little bit. But it's such a thought-provoking book. I really enjoyed it. I don't feel like it was too heavy. I don't know. It's been a long time since I read it. It brought up a lot of really good conversation. It really brings bioethics questions to light. I have no idea where this has gone since then. I have no knowledge since it probably was 2011 when I read the book, but I really enjoyed it. It's a book that I still think about today. Definitely one I recommend. All right, on to C. I have Joey and Fluke Chocolate Chip Cookie Murder Mystery. These are cozy mysteries. They're long for a cozy mystery, but I definitely have enjoyed them. As far as I remember, they are all clean. The series started a long time ago. This is a newer edition cover of it. Yeah. First hardcover printing April 2000. So some of the references in this series are fun to see because the technology is much different than it is today. So having a cell phone, I think there's a pager in here, which is, I remember what a pager is, but I don't know if everyone reading will. I enjoyed this series. I got them all through the library. I really enjoyed them, and I think I'm on book like 27 or 28 at this point. But yeah, definitely recommend that series. The next one is a children's book. This one's a nonfiction, but it's a children's book, but I keep it in here because it's one I actually do want to read with my kids, and I want them to like understand it when they read it. But it's also a nonfiction book that tells about me and me and my personality, and that would be Chickenology. If you didn't know, we have, 14 chickens, 15 chickens. I have a broody hen who I think we're gonna have some baby chicks here in the next week. But this book, I just love it. It goes through all the different breeds of chickens, and it goes through like chicken eggs and how they develop and all of these things. My science background. I love it. It is so cute. I love the artwork in it. I love all of the things that it goes through. Yeah, so definitely one I wanted to have on my shelves and read with my kids when they're a little bit older. And I might be that crazy chicken lady too. All right, the last letter, A. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. This book, This book's a classic, so I'm sure you know the general gist of it. So if you didn't know, Samuel Clemens grew up in Hannibal, Missouri, and he's in my corner of the state. And there are all kinds of Mark Twain things around here. If you're ever free around the 4th of July, there are Tom Sawyer Days downtown Hannibal. And all the things. They have like fence painting competitions and frog jumping competitions. It's the whole thing. They have a Tom and Becky. It's adorable. Definitely one I would recommend. And the last one I read a long time ago, so I can't remember. There might be language in this book, but it is A Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson. I really enjoyed this book when I read it. So in high school, I used to go on hiking trips out to the mountains in Colorado, and we'd spend a week out there climbing the next mountain. I've been to the top of I think it's the tallest mountain in Colorado, Mount Elbert. I've been to a couple of the mountains, the 14er mountains. Beautiful, majestic. There's something about hiking that is in me. At this point in my life, am I going to? Probably not. But I do love reading about it. And A Walk in the Woods was so much fun. I remember laughing. He's such a good storyteller. I think there are parts that might be a little uncomfortable. I think there's some language. I do think there's some language in the book. But if you can get past that, I really enjoyed it. Such a fun read. I should do a reread of this to really see what's in it if I would still recommend it. So, I don't know, look up content if you are concerned. Alright, so we made it through my entire name twice. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. You should leave a little chicken emoji down in the comments to let me know that you made it all the way through the video. I talked about a lot of random stuff. And if you're new here, this is kind of what I do. I have a lot of very random interests that I hold very dearly, like my chickens and hiking and gardening and growing food and all of that. So I'm so glad you're here today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.